Cory C, what's up, brother? What's going on with you?
What up? What's up, people?
Hey, man, happy you could join. This is a special segment within the live show, but I did want to sit down with you, bro, and chop it up with you about the scrimmage. I know you were one of the of the crew. I know you, TD, KT Dub, and a lot of others had an opportunity to go to the scrimmage this past Saturday. I wanted to sit down with you, see, because you put a lot of notes in the chat, just kind of speak to what you were stating. But the thing that was the coolest for me, man, is that it was right on form. Everything that was pretty much where we were, had discussed previously, seems that it kind of stayed true to form, man. But I wanted to give you opportunity to speak your piece because you weren't able to join us live, but I want Tiger Nation to be able to hear what you had to say from a trusted source, from Cory C. All right, everybody.
I mean, no, man, I'm going to repeat a lot of the things that you said all along because I know you've been to several practices in the previous scrimmage. We haven't had a chance to be there at the same time, but I'm watching the show and hearing and talking to you in the chat and hearing what you're saying. And then when I go and watch the scrimmage, it's the exact same thing. So when I share those things in the chat, it's like me repeating it. But, it's good for me to kind of get out there and see it for myself. But, I mean, man, it's a lot, though. Where do you want to start, man? Where do you want me to start?
Well, I tell you what, man. Let's start with the offense. Well, let's do something a little different, man. Let's start with special teams. We'll start with special teams. We'll go there, and then we'll go to offense and defense, and then give an overall take. And then we'll end it with some players that kind of jumped out. Who you feel, made their stock go up a little bit, what I'm saying, on the depth chart, because this is about playing time. This is about earning, a right to play, staying in the fray, staying in the fold. But let's start with special teams. Special teams was a strong suit for us. I know we didn't probably do any kick return, but how the kickers looking?
So we have G-Baby. Of course, we have G-Baby coming back. That was a rumor going around that G-Baby wasn't coming back. I don't know if you heard that. So I was concerned for a while. I didn't see many offers going out or the coaches were trying to replace him, but good thing that was false. But G-Baby, he looked good. He looked the same. He looked like he always looked. He made a 52-yarder in the scrimmage, and I mean it had plenty of room. It probably could have gone 57, 58 yards, and it was right down the middle. So we're good in that standpoint. Yeah, didn't do any returning, but kicking is good, and then punting as well. So I talked to a coach. I won't mention the name. This was during basketball season, with Matt Noel leaving, just asking what it was going to be looking like from a punting standpoint. And this coach assured me that there will not be any drop-off in the punting game. And that's what I saw at the scrimmage as well. So when you see, I mean, watching that whole season, I'm saying, man, I'm going to hate to lose this guy. I don't know what an NFL punter looks like, but I want to see a punter that looks better than Matt Noel, man. If you're a better punter than Matt Noel, I need to see it with my two eyes. If this guy's not an NFL punter. So I've been dreading potentially losing him or dreading losing him all season, but I was assured during basketball season that there won't be any drop-off. So we'll be good. And, of course, Javance. What he did to the special teams, man, that was amazing, the way he turned around this special teams. I think that might have been the best special teams season in Jackson State history. I don't want to offend some of the older heads in here, but my memory, as far as I've been watching, that's probably, I mean, all around. We're talking about kicking, we're talking about coverage and everything. So.
Yeah, we had some good years. I'll stay away from the history part, but hey, we had a good year. It is what it is. When you get the the freshman All-American, kick returner, and then you have you have a kicker as well as a punt. Your punter is all swag. That's about as best as you can get, especially from what we came from. But let's jump into the offense, man. Let's start with the quarterback room. I know that's always a hot topic. Of course, we got Jacoby Morgan, Celebration Bowl offensive MVP returning, and then we got a slew of quarterbacks. The addition of Tyreek Starks. We still got Ethan Terrell, Parker Stouffer. Cam is playing baseball. But I just wanted to get your assessment on how you felt the quarterbacks did in the scrimmage.
We'll start with Jacoby, and there's not much more we can say about him, but Jacoby is the guy. He's calm. You can just tell he's a guy who's in his second, third year leading the team. The team responds to him like they should, like you would expect. And again, he's just calm. He doesn't make the mistakes, and he's a guy who – now, I do want to see competition because Jacoby is at his best when there's somebody pushing him, right? So we do need to see somebody pushing him, but Jacoby is our guy. I don't think there's no question. There's a question about that, but – the surprise in the quarterback room, I think you mentioned this, but the freshman, the redshirt freshman, Ethan Terrell.
Okay. All right, let's talk about it. Oh,
Ethan Terrell is a guy who a lot of people may have kind of forgotten about. Obviously, he was a freshman, redshirted last year, and some games didn't even dress out, right? But
right.
I would say he has made the biggest jump out of everybody on the team, out of all positions. He looks good. He threw a couple touchdowns, and he doesn't look like a freshman. He looks like a guy who's played some football. He's looking like that 3-star that we recruited out of high school. And I was told by a coach that with this system, quarterbacks really start to come into their own in their second season. So they're not surprised by Ethan. They're actually expecting Cam McCoy to make a big jump as well for that very reason. And I'm being told that's one reason why Jacobian looks so good. Yeah, this is his third year, but that first year, it was hurt and kind of came in sparingly, didn't finish the season. But this is, second year full. This will be his second full season. So that's why that's another reason why he looks so comfortable with Ethan Terrell. He has probably made the biggest leap from year 1 to year 2 out of everybody. So I'm not saying he'll be the number 2 guy. I don't know where he'll end up on the depth chart, but he's a player. He's definitely a guy.
I know the Terrell family is going to be happy to hear that one, man. I know Mama Terrell, Papa Terrell has been, they've done some chatting in the Instagram inbox, bro. So I'm happy for Ethan, man. For a second we wasn't sure, we wasn't sure how things would go. Just that adjustment, Cory. Ethan was on campus, man, when most freshmen are going to prom. You know what I'm saying?
Going to the prom.
So it's kind of like a situation where you get to college, man. It's not high school anymore. There's an adjustment. Then you sit out a year, and then there's that question mark. But that's impressive, man, to hear that he's made the biggest leap through a couple of touchdowns. I saw that in your notes, and I love it for him, man. I love it for him, and he's a legacy kid. You want to see him elevate and continue to make strides, man. So that QB2 position, we're gonna see who that is, man.
I think it's wide open. Yeah, and with Ethan, with freshmen, the thing about freshmen, I'm not too hard on freshmen in any sports because that transition from high school to college is just different for everybody. Some kids just right away they adjust. Some kids it takes time. You were talking about who was it, Nunley? On the last show,
CJ Nunley. Yep.
Like just because the kid in the era that we're in, you got to be ready to pretty much play right away, or we got to move on. Just the way college football or college athletics is set up. But Ethan was a guy, and I'm not saying he was immature, but he is more mature now. You can just tell. So not just on the field, just off the field. He's just growing up. He was 17, 18 years old. So sometimes it just takes time. So, but he'll be a player for us, and Parker as well. Parker looks good. Parker he stands out. He stands out as well. So
I like Parker,
we're in good hands at the QB position.
How did Starks look?
So we know what we're going to get from him. He's solid. He's still learning. Just coming in, right? Only had a few practices, so he has to really, like I said, I was told that it takes a couple years to kind of learn. Not saying that he can't be good right away, in year 1, but to really, really become acclimated, it may take a couple years. So for him to be this new, he's kind of feeling his way around, but he'll be fine. Yeah, we know, we've seen him perform. That's one thing about it, man. And I had this conversation with someone on the sideline, just not comparing the quarterbacks, but when you look at Ethan, who hasn't taken a college snap, looking good in practice, versus the Ty Starks, if it comes down to going, a number 2 guy, who are you looking at? Even if Ethan looks great right now, I'm not saying he looks better, but if he looks the part right now, do you trust what you've seen from a guy who's actually had real college snaps, right? So that'll be the question. I think when it comes to the lights being on and the game time situation, I think Ty Starks will be a guy we definitely be able to count on.
Awesome, man. So let's move on over to the running back room. One of the deepest positions in the all the offense. I think every position we feel is deep, but let's talk about the running backs. Give you assessment on how they looked in the scrimmage.
So in the chat, I don't know if you remember, I said all the running backs look good, and I put all in all caps. I don't know if you remember that.
I see it. I'm looking at the chat right now.
Okay, you're looking at it. Yeah, I did that specifically for a reason. All the running backs look good. This running back room is, when you lose an Irv, I don't know if we'll have an Irv Mulligan. We got to see, right? We got to see who can step up.
Special. Yeah.
He's different. But aside from just having that guy, everything else to the running back room is deeper and better. It's deeper and better. Davenport looks good. He looks great. Dez is running hard. Dez is still running hard. Amari, man, his physique, man, he's just transformed his body.
I was trying to tell you, he look different, don't he, bro? Shout out to Beef, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no doubt. Shout out to Beef. Mod, getting him back healthy. He looks good. Nate Blunt, right? Everybody's been waiting on him. I'm glad that he didn't redshirt. He reserved his red shirt. He only played in 4 games last year. He's catching the ball out of the backfield.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, that was a nice surprise. And then Travis Terrell, we know what he can do, but from a running back standpoint, he looked really good. He's put on some weight, I would say about 10 to 15 pounds, and he had a nice touchdown up the middle. I know this is a big topic of discussion. Travis running up the middle, but yeah, he broke a nice one up the middle for a touchdown. So that running back, and then we're not even talking about my speedster from California who hasn't even been there yet, and then a couple freshman running backs coming in. So yeah, it'll be a deep room again. It'll be a deep room, but a better room than last year. If I'm Eric Gallen, man, I don't know what to do with myself right now. I don't know how they're going to divide up the minutes, but the carries.
Hey, Coach G know how to. He got it under control, man. That's one of my favorite coaches. His work don't be cut out for him, but Cory, his demand is high, and he'll figure out a way to to challenge them to get to where he want them to be. So they're gonna have to compete for them reps, man. Deep running back room, man. Wow.
But it always works itself out. We say this every year for every position, man. We have so many players how we're going to do it. And by the end of the year, we're down to a couple guys, whether it's injury or whatever the case may be. So it always works itself out. Imagine if we weren't as deep at wide receiver and running back last year, because going into the season, we were saying how we're going to split up these minutes, these plays, these carries, right? But at the end of the season, we're only down to so many guys in each position.
Well, since you just mentioned wide receivers, let's go to the wide receivers, man. Let's talk about them, man. Let's talk about this deep wide receiver room. Still deep. I'll let you speak on what you saw, and we'll expand from that.
Well, if Ethan has made the biggest jump, I would say the second biggest jump, just based on what my eyes have seen. I haven't seen every single thing, but just at a quick glimpse. Person who's made the second biggest jump. He's a wide receiver. Can you guess who it is?
I'm looking at your notes, so I got the clip.
You cheating.
I'm looking at.
But even without looking at my notes, I think you would know. I think you would agree because you've seen this as well. Yeah. Jamil Gardner.
Yeah, shout out to Jamil, man. I'm so proud of Jamil.
Proud of him. Absolutely.
Yes.
Happy for him.
Yes, he and I have had several conversations. Man, proud of him. I'll let you speak to it though. Go ahead.
No, man, and I'll touch on that as well. Just going through a lot, life, right, off the field, on the field. So he faced a lot of adversity, and I'm so glad he was able to push through it. I know y'all had some some personal and private conversations, and man, we were standing there after the scrimmage, and definitely your name came up, right? He just talked about you and didn't get into the specifics of the conversations, but just how you were there for him and talking to his father and everything you've done. So trust me, he appreciated that because you weren't there, but he brought up your name, right? Just with me being associated with you, right? Me and KT Dub. So he appreciates what you did. And man, we're glad that you were able to kind of put your arms around him and guide him through his adversities, because he's a player. We started to see it towards the end of last year. We started to see glimpses. Now, Coach Gallen came on the show prior to the beginning of last season, and he's a running backs coach, but he was marveling at the wide receiver, Jamil Gardner, right? Like, man, how we get this guy, right? So we didn't see it in the beginning of the season. We inconsistency, missing some games here and things of that nature. But once he kind of figured it out, we saw what it could look like, and he's carried that into this spring. He's gonna have to play. I don't know who's starting. I mean, you can imagine who's gonna start, but he's gonna play. He's gonna play.
Yeah.
It's one thing about Jamil, and I know you would agree. He knows how to get open. He's always open.
Yeah.
He's always open. You notice that?
Yeah, man. He got that twitchy. He twitchy, man.
And the quarterbacks like him. Every quarterback likes him.
Pretty quick. Yeah. Make tough catches. That's the Jamil we initially saw, and then something happened, and then he had to find his way, man. That's what, like I said, I just made myself available, met his pops by accident. We was in the restaurant at the same time. He recognized me, and sometimes that's all kids need, man. You got to keep in mind, Jamil's from Detroit, Michigan, bro. So coming all the way down to Jackson, Mississippi, sometimes it's culture shock. You got to, you find some adversity. You look around, you don't see anything familiar. And then you're just kind of in a tough spot, man. We all go through it. And sometimes you need to know that the people there that, they love you, man. They rooting for you. And you can be there for them in any shape, form, or fashion. And then they just tend to get comfortable. And then all of a sudden, Cory, the postseason happened. Hey, man, he was just like, he was playoff G. You know what I'm saying? Playoff J, should I say,
Yeah.
But he had a hell of a swag championship game and an even better Celebration Bowl game. So no drop passes, made critical first downs. I mean, he balled out, man. So shout out to Jamil. Well, who else stood out to you in the wide receiver room outside of Jamil?
And just back to Jamil real quick, you talked about
Okay.
how he looked comfortable. He looks comfortable off the field as well, just talking to him. You could just tell he's a guy who's relaxed and focused. So happy to see that. He's that guy. Jamil's going to be a third down guy for us. He'll be that guy on 3rd and 4 that'll be open and get us the first down. That's what I'm looking for out of him. Yep.
Love it. Love it.
Kobe Paul.
Welcome back, Kobe Paul, man. Boy, Paul. It's good that Kobe's healthy, bro. I'm happy for that. He got banged up last year, and he's back healthy. But speak on it.
Not only healthy, man, he's noticeably bigger, faster, and stronger. Noticeably. And it's like, when you don't, so if you're seeing a player all year, you don't see him getting bigger and, stronger and faster. But if you see him at the beginning of the season and then a year goes by, then you see, it's just like somebody you haven't seen for a year and they're tall like a kid. If you haven't seen a kid for a year, like, man, you've gotten tall, you've gotten big. So that's how it is with Kobe. We haven't really seen him. But now you look at him and say, man, this gets bigger, faster, stronger. So again, man, another one who he's going to play. He's going to play. You got to get him on the field, man. I can say that about all of them, though. Spencer, man, Spencer had, we know about his route running, but Spencer had a Fortillion like touchdown fade. He caught a fade like Fortillion in the back of the end zone.
To my brother Isaiah Spencer. I call him a route running technician, bro. He's a really he's one of the best route runners we have. And he always get everybody on that double move, man. They fall for it every time. It should be a touchdown every time, but they
real for it every time. We got to get him another move this year though, because I think they caught on to it now.
Well, actually, Coach Taylor do a really good job of scheming for it, like planning for it. He always catch him. He catch him slipping. Like remember, Evan told us he was like, Coach is a mastermind when it comes to play calling.
Yeah,
he pick them apart when defenses will get. He see how the defenses are moving. He like, okay, all right, I'm finna hit him with it now. It's gonna be wide open. You see what's happening. So
at the right time. He calls it before it happens a lot. TC. He'll tell you what's going to happen. Who's going to be open? Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, who else stood out?
Man, my guy, your guy, everybody's guy. Our last Tiger Talk live when they asked me who was my not surprise, but just my impact player on offense as far as newcomers. The one and only, man, Nate the Great. Nate, remember, you said it, but and we know it. We've seen it. Everybody, we've seen him. Right? We saw him last year. We watched the film, but to just see him in person, man, kid, this guy is different, man.
I'm telling you, bro. He is a matchup nightmare in the slot, bro.
Whew. Bro, like I use the term. If you watch Tiger Talk, I'll use the term selectively now for people who are special. I'll say he pops off the screen. If you hear me say that, that means he's special. That means what I mean by he pops off the screen. That means if you're watching the sport and you know nothing about it, you're just casually watching. You don't even watch football, but you're just watching the game. And or basketball. So Steph Curry, I will use him as an example. Steph Curry, you're watching basketball. You don't know nothing about basketball, but if you're watching Golden State, especially in his prime, you would say, "Wait, who is that dude right there? Like he's a little bit different from everybody else, right? Right?
Yeah.
That's something. Like I don't know what I'm watching, but I know he's a little bit different. So that's how it is. If you're watching it, you're like, wait a minute, who is this kid? Like, what's something different about him? So who dropped off this NFL player and put him at this scrimmage, right? He's a pro. He's a pro. I hope he doesn't get penalized for his size, but he's an NFL player.
Hey, man. Hey, that's a great compliment. We're ecstatic to have him. I do know that Coach Marshall caught me in the facility after one of the practices and was like, hey, man, shook my hand, bro. Appreciate you, bro, for helping us get, what I'm saying, to seal the deal with Nate. But it was all Coach Taylor's call, and it was a team effort, man. They reeled him in. We're happy to have him, man. He's one of the happiest Tigers out there, man. He is a true Tiger, man.
15. You would think he's been here for years, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I want to thank you too, man, because man, if we had messed around, he would have ended up in Tallahassee.
That was why look, Cory. That's why I wanted to go ham and hard. I was like, please don't let this brother go to FAMU. I just don't. I don't want that. And he wanted to be a Tiger. It's what it is, Cory, is that one of the things that we see is when you have a player that really want to be a Tiger, bro, you know that. You know when it's real. Nate gave off that impression. I talked to him, gave off that vibe, man. And it was like, man, we got to do what we got to do to get this kid in Jackson, man. So that all happened. And now look at us, man. We fast forward. And I know Tiger Nation at the blue and white game this Saturday, bro, is going to be ecstatic to watch. I don't know what number he's going to wear. I know he's wore number 82. at practice.
Yeah.
We'll see if that's what he's gonna wear. But you will know who he is based off the way to play. You're gonna know who he is.
That's what I mean by he jumps off the screen. You don't have to know a
Yeah.
number or a name. Just go to the game. Okay, who is that kid right there?
Good deal. All right. Well, what about let's anything else with the wide receiver core? We'll move on.
That's it, man. I'll give a guy a shout out. But one thing that I always look for, I look at my freshmen, especially the ones who redshirted, and see what they're going to do in year 2, right, in their freshman season. And obviously, we still have to wait and see. But one guy who's definitely getting some reps, Cameron, what's the last name? How you pronounce it? Onyebuagwa.
Okay, Cam Onyebuagwa, man.
Coach J.O.'s
nephew, or something like that.
Yeah.
I know he's a walk-on. So he's making waves on the wide receiver room. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal, man. Shout out to Cam.
Listen, it's going to be tough to crack the rotation. I'm not saying that. But I like his progression.
Not bad, man. Not bad. Anything with the tight ends before we head to the big boys up front?
Tight ends are, we're just waiting for Jensen to get back. Not quite 100% as far as ready to participate, but he's out there running and doing a lot. So that'll be he's the only quote unquote addition to the room. Everybody else is coming back, so we know what we have in the tight end room.
Pretty standard there. How about O-line?
O-line looks good. Obviously, we lost a couple big guys. Hopefully, they'll play in somebody's pro league. But the one thing about the offensive line is, it starts with Coach Manny, and he knows how to develop guys. The versatility of that offensive line probably stands out more than anything. I think he's still trying to figure out who's going to play where. We're going to be deep, so that starting lineup, I don't know if it's been determined yet. But so from a depth standpoint and from a versatility standpoint, that's really going to set us apart. And then just like I mentioned, Cameron, as far as a freshman who redshirted, same thing with the offensive line. Looking at 2 offensive linemen who redshirted as well, who could, I don't want to say make an impact because they're freshmen and some upperclassmen ahead of them, but Kyson Burke and Antonio Ross, they look good. They from a body standpoint. From a body standpoint, they don't look like typical SWAC freshmen. They don't look like freshman offensive linemen. They look the part. So be interesting to see what they'll do.
Good deal, man. All right, well, let's move on to the dark side, man. The dark side. We'll start with the D line. We know who leads that room, but let me get your thoughts on what you saw at practice, at the scrimmage. I mean.
Yeah, same on the interior. We're good to go on the interior. We of course we have Jeremiah Lacey. I'm looking for Lacey to have a big year, and then I'm waiting on Mr. Jalen Ware to get there. Obviously, he wasn't there and able to participate.
Yeah, I saw him at practice when I was there. Actually, he was at the scrimmage. Was he there for the second scrimmage? I know he was there for the first.
I didn't see him. He could have been there. I didn't see him.
Yeah, he was just in street clothes. He hadn't made it. Boy, he's gonna be Cool. He's gonna be a great addition. He started for ULM in the interior D line when we played him, so I can only imagine just what kind of addition he's going to be. And then even with the edge, brother Cory coming over from Holmes, Cory Bowie, and man, we're excited about getting him too, man. And look like the coaches are still shopping some edge rushers. We how does Kanye look? How does Ivory look? How does John Brown look? How we looking on the edge?
Man, getting John Brown back was huge, man.
Yeah,
huge. That was such because we weren't expecting it, but when that rule hit, and I remember in the chat when the rule first hit, we were in the chat when that rule first hit, and we're going down the list looking at people who could potentially come. Oh man, it's time we're going to come back. Is Kirk Ford going to come back? I even threw out Robert McDaniel. I said, look, definition of the rule, he can come back now. Does he need to go on and cash in? Yeah, I think so. But technically, and I kept looking down the roster, and I think that was the last name I mentioned, John Brown. Like, wait a minute, John Brown come back? So he's back. KC 1400 collective as well. I'm excited about him. He called out. I gotta do it, man. He called out KT Dub.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But this was so funny. I had walked away. We were inside the facility after the practice, so I had walked away. He called out KT Dub. Hey man, when can I get an interview? When can I come on Tiger Talk? KT's like, that's not me. You got to talk to Cory. And I just so happened to walk over there like right after they said it. Like, here he is right here. But it was funny, man. He put KT Dub on the spot. So yeah, we got to get him on Tiger Talk.
Oh man. Well, hey Joe, hey, forgive us, big bro. Hey, forgive us, baby. We're gonna get you on Tiger Talk, man. We gotta get Joe. Hey, he the home team, man.
That's what KT kept saying.
I'm gonna tell you what happened, Cory. What happens is he's similar to Jeremiah. They're very quiet. Don't say a whole lot, but they just be laid back and chill. well, I'm gonna say it this way: he quiet when you don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? John Brown, they real playful and outgoing when you know them, but he just kind of slipped through the cracks on us, man. But I'm glad he called us out on it. We're gonna get him on. So y'all stay tuned, man, for that John Brown interview, that exclusive on Tiger Talk TV. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel. All right.
I told him we got him, man. What happens is so many of those guys came from Gulf Coast, Mississippi Gulf Coast, and I've had them on the show. From Levi to, go down the line. I think he probably saw that and like, wait a minute, you got nothing against Levi, but wait a minute, you got Levi on the show. He just got here. I've been here. What's up?
Yeah.
So I think they see that. But let me say this, because there's a lot of guys who haven't been on the show. I want to personally apologize to Jeremiah Williams. He's been here for 5 years and never been on Tiger Talk. He's never been on Tiger Talk. I know.
Dang, right? So haven't, bro.
Yeah, so we're gonna give him his own sit down. We may have to we'll bring in Austin for that one. We got to bring in Austin for that one. We got to do him right? So we got you. But let me say this to all the guys who have not been on Tiger Talk. This is what happened. This is our fault. So if we don't get you coming in when you first sign, and then the season starts, and the season ends, and then we move on to the next class, and we don't forget about you, but it's like, oh man, we missed him. So it's like a short window where if we don't get you, it's hard to go back because we move on to the next class. So that's our bad. But we got y'all, man. We got y'all.
Hey, we coming. We got to get J-Dub on that thing, man. We coming, big dog. Yeah. All right. Anything that you want to add to the D-line before we move on to the linebackers, man?
Nah, that's it, man. Same from that D-line. Just waiting to see what we're going to get from an edge rushing standpoint because that's what we lost. But I will be fine.
All right, let's talk about this linebacker core, man, led by brother Reed Pulliam and Ashton Taylor. How we looking?
Reed is Reed. You know what you're going to get. Ashton has he's gotten better. He's gotten better. And I say that like I'm surprised. He's supposed to get better from year to year, but he's gotten a little bit faster. He's just more vocal. I expect for him to have a breakout season, if you will. And Reed is Reed. I'm not saying he hasn't gotten better, but I mean, it's hard to get better when you Reed Pulliam, but he's improved as well. So, excited about them. And then Carmelo Jones, I don't know where he's going to play, but he's another guy so I think you said this, Ken, you're trying to figure out when you were going to the practices and scrimmage, you're trying to figure out the numbers. Like you didn't know who's who, like even Amari, because he had switched numbers and you're like, who's this? So at first, I'm trying to figure out who all the numbers are. I didn't ask who's this, who's that. I just wanted to just watch and see who stood out. So a guy kept standing out. I didn't know who he was. I just waited and kept watching. He kept standing out. And I finally said, okay, who was that? Oh, that's Carmelo Jones. Okay.
I like when that happened.
Yeah. So another one who jumps off the screen and he can play multiple positions. So we'll see where he lines up.
Good deal, man. All right, let's move to the back end. Cornerbacks, safeties. How we looking in the secondary?
Yeah, let's start with our two returners, our freshmen at least returners coming back, Mike and KJ. They've grown. They're going to be. I expect a lot from them. Just in year two, because to start as a true freshman at corner, that's huge. I don't think a lot of people, I don't think we talk about that enough. Mike, he started in the Celebration Bowl, didn't he?
Yep.
Did KJ start in the Celebration Bowl too?
Yep.
Two true freshmen start. That's not talked about. Two true freshman corners starting in the Celebration Bowl. So a year of growth from them. They're going to be big, huge for us this year, but the two guys who came in and joined the KC 1400 collective as well, the big fish at corner, Kamari and Levi. Two dogs.
I love it.
Two dogs. That's another one. See, I thought Kamari, I don't know why I thought Kamari was wearing number one. I think somebody told me he was going to, maybe he took his oath.
I think he wants to wear number one, but you got to earn that number. You know how that goes.
I agree. But the reason why I say that, I'm leading something. I'm expecting him to be in number one, right? So when I don't see number one, I'm saying, okay, he must be, he must not be playing, because I know he was nursing some injuries and trying to get 100% healthy. Okay, so he's probably sitting out. There's another guy, 11, out there making plays. It's 11. Again, I'm thinking Kamari is on the sideline. So I finally had to ask Coach Ozama, who's 11? That's Kamari. Oh, that's okay. Okay. Now it makes sense. It makes sense. Yep. So Kamari, Levi as well, aggressive, physical corner. Love Levi. And then another name, V. Chaney, the transfer from USM. He stood out.
Lawrence Chaney. Okay.
Yeah. And he can play the corner and safety. So look for him.
That's good.
Yeah, he can play both. They may be leaning towards safety for him because of the depth at corner, and we do need a couple safeties. I think I saw Coach Magana tweeting out he's looking for a safety. So I think it's kind of moving V Chaney to that safety room, at least for now, just to kind of see how he looks and see if there's a place where he can stay.
I like it, man. So looked like we went through the whole assessment overall. I mean, what's your thoughts on the overall the scrimmage as we get ready to close this thing up? But give your overall assessment, and I'll let you get back to your day.
Oh, we look good. I'm not gonna nitpick as much as a coach would, but from my standpoint, we look good. They're gonna always talk about areas where we need to improve. But I would say we're where we should be. We may even be ahead of where we should be. I know a lot of times around this time we say that the defense is not just at Jackson State, but just football in general. The defense is ahead of the offense. The offense is right there, and the defense is what it is. That's not saying the defense. The defense is where it should be, but the offense is. I mean, they were really going back and forth. They were going at it. So this team is where I would want it to be at the spring, and we're not even at full strength yet. We still have some guys who are nursing injuries, working their way back, and then some guys who aren't on campus. So we're not going to get to see the full package Saturday. Even with the guys who are playing, I doubt they'll show everything. But from what I've seen, we're in store. This team is locked and loaded, ready to make another run, ready to repeat. And I'll go ahead and put it on wax right now. This team is better than last year's team. This team is better than last year's team. This team is better than last year's team.
Hey, well, listen, that's a good place to stop right there. Y'all, this is the Jackson State football scrimmage number 2 recap with the Cory C. Cory, tell them where they need to go subscribe and follow before we get about this thing, brother.
Man, you already know Tiger Talk TV. Just go type it in anywhere. Google, just type it in Tiger Talk TV.
There it is, man. The Cory C. Hey, appreciate you, brother.
Tiger Talk TV is presented by Bet Online.